Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Wealth Prescription. In this video, I will discuss why to avoid NPS. For those who are investing in NPS, they can see biggest advantage is tax benefit. But I will show you by calculation this tax benefit will be wiped out at the time of retirement. People think it is government managed product, so it has highest degree of safety, but in actual it is only government regulated product. Also people think it will provide pension at retirement. In actual you will have to purchase annuity plan from annuity providing companies, and these annuity plans are not special for NPS subscriber. It is available for all in the market. Now what is NPS? It is nothing but mutual fund. Those who are investing in mutual fund can easily understand that NPS is mutual fund, but for those who are not investing in mutual fund, then let me tell you, NPS is mutual fund only, and it is more risky than normal mutual fund. In NPS, part of investment is going in debt and part of investment is going in equity. Let us discuss these two parts separately. In debt part, there are two asset classes. First is corporate debt and second is government securities. In debt part, there are two risks. One is credit risk and second is interest risk. Most of this debt part is invested in more than 5 years of maturity period instruments, so it has highest degree of risk. Let me give you one exercise. You just look at the trend of government securities fund, that is gilt fund, credit fund and liquid fund of your choice in money control or any other site. You will notice liquid fund trend is straight line, whereas gilt fund and credit fund trends are just like any share price movement. This movement in gilt fund and credit fund is mostly due to interest rate change. You might have heard of Franklin Mutual Fund, which has wounded 6 debt funds. In all these funds, what they did is to get more return, they invested in long maturity duration debt instruments. In NPS also, most of debt fund is invested in long duration instruments to get maximum interest benefit. Today what happened with Franklin Mutual Fund investor, tomorrow it may happen to NPS investors also. In case of investing in mutual funds, you can reduce the risk, but in NPS, nothing is in your hand. Bank FD rate is around 5.5% per annum. So in debt part, maximum return you can expect is 7%, and in future it may go down. Now coming to equity part, here pension fund manager fee PFM fee is limited to 0.01% per annum. This limit is kept by government. Whereas in passively managed funds like index fund, expense ratio is 0.3 to 0.5%, and in case of actively managed mutual funds, expense ratio is around 1 to 2%. So here question is how PFM can manage equity part with this low fees. For you, NPS might be retirement planning, but PFMs are not in social service business. There is no free lunch. If you want return, then you will have to pay, and if you don't pay, your fund will be at risk. You will not get return as per risk you have taken. So from debt and equity part, it is clear that it is better to invest in outside mutual funds rather than NPS. Now if you want maximum return, then you will have to make active choice with class E, where 75% of investment is in equity and remaining in debt. In this case also you will get maximum 8 to 10% return only. Now let us compare NPS versus mutual fund by calculation. Mr. A is investing in NPS. His age is 35 years. He will contribute for 25 years. His yearly contribution is 50,000. He falls in 30% tax slab, so he will get tax benefit of 15,000. Let us consider he is investing that 15,000 also in NPS, so total contribution is 65,000. If he gets 9% return, then at maturity his corpus will be 60 lakh. Now biggest risk starts, that is reinvestment risk. Its simple meaning is, if you put 1 lakh in bank FD for 6% rate for a year, after a year when you go for FD renewal, there are three possibilities. FD rate may be same, less or more than previous year rate. But if you think about probability, then FD rate will be lower than previous year FD rate. And now think about FD rate after 25 years. It may be 1 or 2% only. This is called reinvestment risk. Out of 60 lakh, you will have to purchase annuity plan of 24 lakh, that is 40% of corpus. At present, annuity plans give 5 to 6% return, and after 25 years, this return will be much lower than 5 to 6%. But for the sake of calculation, let us consider Mr. A will get 5% return. So his monthly income will be 10,000. Remaining 60% corpus, that is 36 lakh, is tax free. But where will you invest it and how much return you will get? Today bank FD rate is 5 to 6%. After 25 years it may be 1 to 2% only. For giving more benefits to NPS subscriber, let us say he will get 5% return. So his monthly income from tax free corpus will be 15,000 and total monthly income will be 25,000 and yearly income will be 3 lakh. Remember, at this age he cannot invest in mutual fund because mutual funds carries risk. If he wanted to invest in mutual fund, he should have invested it before 25 years. In a single day, Mr. A's earning rate will come down from 9% to 5%. That is reinvestment risk. If Mr. A, who is in tax slab of 30% today and getting 3 lakh yearly from NPS only, then he must be falling in 10% tax slab at the time of retirement. So he will have to pay 30,000 as tax. Now let us consider case of Mr. B, who is colleague of Mr. A. Instead of investing in NPS, he wants to stick to mutual fund. He is of the same age of Mr. A. He will invest for 25 years and yearly contribution will be 50,000 and tax saving is 0. Total investment is 50,000. If Mr. A can get 9% from NPS, then Mr. B may get 12% from mutual fund. But for the sake of calculation, let us assume Mr. B also getting only 9% return. His maturity value will be 46 lakh only. Here difference between Mr. A and Mr. B's corpus is 14 lakh. To meet daily expenses, he is withdrawing 25,000 monthly, that is 3 lakh yearly from his mutual fund corpus, and he is continuing his mutual fund investment. He will have to pay a long-term capital gain on withdrawal, which will be 20,000, whereas this is 30,000 for Mr. A. Let us neglect this part. Mr. B is continuing investment in mutual fund and withdrawing 3 lakh yearly. In past he got 9% return, then let us assume in future also he is getting 9% return. In this way, at the end of 70 years his final corpus will be equal to Mr. A's corpus, and from next year he will overtake Mr. A. This was ideal comparison, but if we do actual comparison then if Mr. B gets 10.5% return, then without any tax benefit his final corpus would be same as Mr. A, and if Mr. B gets 12% return, then his final corpus would be 78 lakh, which is 18 lakh more than Mr. A. So if you are already contributing to EPF for retirement, then why to invest in a faulty product with reinvestment risk? And if you are in 30% tax slab in young age, then there is a high probability you may leave your job before retirement. And if you are planning to go abroad, then better to avoid NPS because your money will be locked till the age of 60 years. And those who are thinking NPSs will diversify their portfolio, then it is not like investing in another scheme of mutual fund. It is like investing in another scheme of mutual fund, not diversification of assets. If you like